Mason's Video Inc. would like to give out this message. Please do not harass or witch hunt any people involved making the original source, even if they did some messed up stuff. My sanity has already been through a lot. Thanks for understanding. Well, it's about time I would talk about something else even worse than supporting a terrible person and doing some messed up arts. Transphobia. So, welcome to Mason's Random World, the Anything Goes channel where I talk about a lot of stuff except making BlushTuber channels, BlushTuber videos. Man, I can't really get my mouth out or words out. What the fuck is going on with me today? So, recently I have been going through my timeline on Twitter, or should we call it X, because fuck you, Elon Musk, and I saw a post by WonderFowl5 with the words, with a caption saying, "I'm not watching this video." And it causes me to be inspired by this weird post and talk about it here, because I love talking about weird things that make me interested for some weird reason. Even if something has messed up, because, yeah. The video we're going to talk about today is Vivian is not transgender, and how Nintendo destroyed his character by Kai-maring VTuber. And you may be wondering, wait, Vivian is a transgender woman? Well, let me explain. On the original Japanese version of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Vivian is described as a transgender woman. But because of the translators and the grading guidelines and stuff, she has to be changed into a normal woman. But that transgender part was later reused for the Switch remake of The Thousand Year Door. Which I think that's pretty cool of them to actually keep a feature of Vivian into the newer version, because of how the age ratings changed from that years and how people respect the transgender community even more. And that's the reason why she was originally transgender. Before we even begin this video, do you remember the phrase, "never judge a book by its cover"? Yeah. I basically ignore it most of the time. Mostly on YouTube thumbnails. Heck, First Man's Rescue Mission thumbnail actually told me a lot, despite the video being made by a person who supports a very terrible person that I already mentioned before, and strangely enough, blames my exposed video on cyberbullying for no reason at all. And making a kinda long video inspired by Sonic says, the thumbnail used in the video basically feels more like a shitpost than an actual thumbnail. Like, seriously though, it has transphobic shitpost values. And in the tone of Daniel T. Gaming, the inspiration for this video. So with that said, let's dive right into the cringe.
It's officially over. See, the new Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake has just been released, and with it comes a controversial change, to say the least.
Yeah, a change that basically re-added a thing that was originally from the Japanese version.
It's a bit of a well-known fact at this point that the character Vivian, one of Mario's companions in the game, was a male crossdresser in the original Japanese version, but was changed to be a biological female in the English release. However, the remake, rather than directly translate the original script and remove the censorship, actually went even farther in the other direction and made Vivian transgender.
That's what I already said.
This situation on Vivian's gender identity has effectively turned into a three-way civil war, the sides being Girl Vivian, Trap Vivian, and Trans Vivian.
The only real side is the transgender one.
And honestly, the entire situation is further eroding my will to live. Of course, femboy erasure is always a pain, but the worst part about this entire situation is that the Japanese version was also censored to remove references to Vivian being male. Yeah, it's not just the West that's getting bastardized edits to games, the Japanese have to deal with it now too.
I don't recall my research including the Japanese version removing any mentions of Vivian being male or something. I don't know. Who knows? Please point me out in the comments, please. Also, femboys are not related to any transgender people from what I recall. Yeah.
But I digress. Let's dive into the work itself and analyze what's going on here. Now, unfortunately, my Japanese isn't good enough to translate it all myself, so I'm going to have to use translations from third parties. As you can see, this is the real meat. In the original Japanese version, she says, "The thing is, I have a boy's body, but my heart is a cute girl's." Meanwhile, in the English version, it's, "Truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now their usual bullying feels heavier." Now, the original line can be interpreted as Vivian saying he's trans or a femboy.
Again, transgender, femboy, completely separate.
Personally, I think he's being metaphorical by saying he has the heart of a cute girl rather than saying that he was born in the wrong body or something. However, while that scene sort of leaves Vivian's gender identity a bit vague, there are several other lines which directly state that Vivian is male. For example, as you can see, this also explicitly labels Vivian as male. Vivian, while being quite girly, was referred to as a male in the original Japanese version. Effectively, this is case closed. Vivian is a femboy, and the remake completely vandalizes his character.
Is this video going to be about me pointing out that transgenders are not the same as femboys like 100 times? Because it's starting to feel like it, you know.
This new Switch remake also has a lot of other changes to make the game more politically correct. You can pause and read through these lines if you're interested, but basically all three were changed to be more feminist. However, this basically invalidates the people saying that Vivian being trans is more accurate because they're all for changes like these since they only care about accuracy when it's something they like. Although, as we've established, trans Vivian isn't even accurate in the first place.
I don't understand a single word you said, and the whole sentence is a little bit confusing in my opinion.
What I find funny, though, is that this is basically a Bridget situation all over again. There's a character who existed a certain way for 20 years, but then they're changed on a dime to appeal to modern sensibilities. It's a real shame how this seems to be becoming a pattern.
Says the person who is likely transphobic.
Another thing to keep in mind is that the kinds of people who are saying that Vivian is trans are the kinds of people who say that Distasteful is trans, and that sort of thing brings up a greater issue. Traps are a time-honored staple of Eastern media, and as Japanese video games and anime become more popular overseas, you're starting to see the LGBT activists imprint their own ideals on these types of characters.
First of all, your comparison basically sounds like Godzilla is basically the same as Dino from the Flintstones. Second, I don't know what the hell you said right over here, and my freaking brain cells are deteriorating for some strange reason while watching this video. Why do I keep saying for some reason? For some reason.
First it was Bridget, then Vivian, and if they get their way, they won't stop until every trap is trans. And unfortunately, this dystopic future seems inevitable at this point because as Westerners become more involved in Japanese anime and video games, you're starting to see a lot of these woke libtards defiling these products, vandalizing them with their own ideals.
I'm honestly fine if anyone turns something that isn't trans into transgender characters. Like, I'm actually fine with that. Also, why the hell would you basically use, like, comics that are basically, like, transphobic in some strange way?
It started with just bad translations like Fire Emblem Fates and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, but now in addition to translations, they're going directly to the source and coercing Japanese creators to make their works politically correct. As we are seeing with RGG Studio and their international standards, Square Enix with their ethics department, Guilty Gear Strive with Bridget, and now even Paper Mario with Vivian.
How the heck is it supposed to do with Paper Mario?
Anyway, this whole situation is a bit of a downer, but I know for sure that I'm sticking with the original. The GameCube version is aged fine, its graphics are timeless, and its gameplay is a smooth 60 frames per second. And the translation has less issues overall. Ultimately, $60 for better graphics, choppier gameplay, and a butchered translation definitely doesn't seem worth it to me, especially when the money only goes to more bastardized products. So with that, I leave you all with one important piece of wisdom.
Now, what will he say next? I'll leave you a few seconds to think. Okay, time's up. Here's what he said, and yeah.
Dolphins are cool animals.
You know what's more cooler than dolphins? Sharks. Jokes aside, out of all the things you said for a video that basically kind of promotes transphobia, dolphins is the only thing you think of? Maybe you're promoting the dolphin emulator, I don't pissing know.
Also, be sure to shadow punch that like button and that subscribe button. Alright, and leave a comment if you think that Vivian is trans, or if you think he's a femboy, or if you just think he's better as a girl, okay? Yeah, be sure to give me that engagement. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.
Yeah, people definitely like your video about transphobia. It's also kind of funny that he made his simple comments of some more misinformation, but it backfired. And you know what's more funny than that? The comments on the main video itself. Something interesting to note. Viv is never misgendered by the sisters despite that supposedly being important to the story of Viv being trans. And now it's removed, kinda ruining the whole story they claimed existed. Thinking emoji. Great, the tour's found Paper Mario. You know, dogpiling the guy's comment section as a mod doesn't make you wide. Especially when you just brought out the same line over and over like a gaggle of game NPCs? Gaggle. Huh, new word. Beldam speech bubble. Making a YouTube video doesn't make you white either. Beldam speech bubble. Cope. She's trans. Straight up. Of course this guy's one of those lolly waifu losers. Mega cringe. Can you shut up? Shakes butt. Not the fucking Twitter brain rot. Starts farting. Beldam, is that you? Give it up, Beldam. We know it's you. Are you role-playing? Laughing with tears emoji. Beldam speech bubble. When I was looking at the comments for that video, one particular person keeps popping up. Viperius VT? Viperius? What the hell is that name? He harasses anyone because of one reason. He prefers Vivian as a cross-dressing boy instead of a transgender woman. And if you prefer that, that's alright. But harassing anyone that disrespects your opinions is basically garbage at this point. I was about to say that Bieber that we refer to Britain as, you know, the part from our Mobies. At this point, he could have been called the Twitch chat type version of this meme. Blah 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 blah. Another type of comment I kept on seeing is the comment saying, Beldam speech bubble. Everyone is spamming it and I don't know why. Maybe it's because of those speech bubble memes. Of like a character that probably looks like a character saying something. That might just be kind of on character on them. I don't know. So what's the lesson today? Basically, don't even make any videos involving trans stuff that might be considered transphobia, and don't harass anyone because of anyone's opinions. And of course, Vivian will always be based as a transgender woman, and sharks are even better than dolphins. With that said, guys, stay random.
You and the convenience store. Thank you for watching.
Hey there, Mason here. So while editing like the ending and stuff, I forgot to mention this. First of all, the tweet I showed you is now deleted. I'm actually itching my hair real quick. Dried skin, funny problem. Second of all, this channel has like been over a year old or something. I don't really recall. And I think it's like 3 years old, 5 maybe, with the very first video being talking about like a farm game, and the title is like lolly. I actually mentioned this in like the comment part of the video, but yeah, pretty damn disgusting. But also yeah, a lot of other stuff. He also made like a video about Bayonetta 3's stupidity of how the whole drama stuff is like dumb and stuff, and an Earthbound video of how it's not really related to like the US. I think these videos are probably like rage bait videos, but yeah. If you want me talking about more videos made by weirdos, please let me know. I will happily take those if for suggestions. There are no promises I will make these videos, but videos like these can interest me a little bit, so yeah. Thanks. Just like before, thanks for watching. Stay random.